Thank you for tuning in and thank you for supporting us. But if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please encourage us by doing so. Buhari impostor, chronic hatred against Igbos has destroyed the Fulani Janjaweed, cries Fulani governors. This is not 1967 civil war, where the British, the Russians, and the Arab nations helped Nigerians to fight against Biafrans. Igbos are now wise, according to the Fulani Janjaweed governors. They are warning Buhari impostor and Abubakar Malami, but they are so stubborn and proving that the Fulani can do it. But they will be shocked. You know, Buhari impostor is in trouble as ɁHDZ Igbo blows hot, saying Buhari impostor's personal vendetta against Igbo people must have limited or have limits, and they can no longer accept the continued illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Buhari impostor personal grudges against Igbo people, and this has led to his prolonged incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I really thank God that ₦HDZ Igbo have woken up now in support of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Buhari impostor should remember that the 3 years genocide agenda or war against Biafrans, which took the life of about 5 million Igbo people through the aid of world powers, Britain, US, Russia, and Arab nations in 1967 to 1970, could not bury or end the agitations for the Republic of Biafra. Buhari impostor has chronic hatred against Igbo people, and he has not hidden his ill feelings towards Igbo people since 2015. He assumed office. This is evident in his confrontational, brutal, and elimination approach he deployed over IPOB matters. Since his emergence in 2015, Buhari impostor is wasting his time and resources because no amount of threat, intimidation, or even war will stop Biafra's agitation. It will not stop it. Rather, it will sink the Fulani Nigeria to the mud. It will sink them to the mud. Buhari impostor's continuous incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu reminds Igbo people of the 1967 to 1970 genocide war against Biafra, and makes it look so fresh, especially in the minds of new generation of Igbo extraction. And there are more than 10 million Igbo people like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu watching Buhari impostors oppressive rules against Igbo, and the useless Fulani terrorist jihadist Nigerian president Buhari impostor should know that there is a limit he can exceed, and there is a limit Igbo can't take in the further unlawful, illegal, and unconstitutional detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The last time General Yakubu Gowon exceeded the limits, our great leader, Odumegwu Ojukwu, reacted and made it, took the help of the world powers. and food/weapon blockade to stop Biafra. Else, Biafra would have succeeded. This is not 1967 to 1970 civil war. That genocide can no longer happen. It will be a different ball game this time around. It will be to the interest of Nigeria if Buhari impostors avoid the temptation, hatred, and ego of exceeding such limits on the continuous detention of Nnamdi Kanu. Ndị Igbo will see the incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu beyond December 2022 as an irrevocable victimization of Ndị Igbo and has apparently made an indelible mark and hatred between Ndị Igbo and the Fulani Janjaweed. Buhari impostors' stubbornness and stiff-necked character will destroy him and his Fulani Janjaweed tribe, a word they say is enough for the wise. In Guatemala, a South American nation, the country's ex-president and his vice president were jailed for 16 years by a court for mere custom fraud. But in the zoo called Nigeria, Tinubu and Atiku, contesting for Nigerian presidency, are walking freely in a sane country. They would have been behind bars for corruption. The citizens of Guatemala protested, and the ex-president and his vice president resigned honorably. But in Nigeria, protesters, or those who protested for Buhari impostor to step down, he sent his Fulani-controlled Nigerian military, police, and criminal DSS to kill Nigerians. For example, the one that happened at Lekki Toll Gate, and some of the urchins are still claiming that no one died. You know, Nigerians were protesting for him to step down over incompetence. Instead of him to do the right thing, he sent the military after them. You know, the former UK Prime Minister, Tony Blair, through his Tony Blair Faith organization, is sponsoring blackmail against IPOB and Biafra restoration by comparing IPOB with Fulani and Boko Haram terrorist groups, posing a threat to 2023 Nigeria elections. It is a pity that a supposedly responsible foundation founded by Sir Tony Blair, a former British Prime Minister, will stoop so low to join the League of Sponsored Blackmailers against IPOB and the Biafran people in order to discredit IPOB in the eyes of the international community. It is malicious for Tony Blair and his compromised foundation to compare IPOB, a peaceful freedom-fighting group, with world-known Fulani and Boko Haram terrorist organizations. You know, comparing them, that is not right. IPOB and Eastern Security Network have never attacked INEC infrastructures and have never attacked anyone. Yet, the Fulani Nigerian government keeps sponsoring media attack to blackmail IPOB. No member of IPOB has ever been arrested and convicted of terrorism. Eastern Security Network was formed to tackle Fulani terrorists in Biafra land. Tony Blair was UK Prime Minister when the then Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo bombed and massacred Biafrans in Odi and Zakebian communities, and Tony Blair did nothing about the genocide. The British government laid an illegal yet free oil and gas pipeline through the bed of Atlantic Ocean from Biafra land to Britain, which they refer to as Northern Oil. This is an economic sabotage against Biafrans, yet Tony Blair did nothing. This is why the British government is not supporting Biafra restoration and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. And that is why every 4 years they influence who becomes Nigerian president to the detriment of Nigerian voters. The British and the Fulani Nigerian government committed genocide against Biafrans in 1967 to 1970, where over 5 million Biafrans lost their life. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen, was kidnapped, renditioned, and detained by the Fulani Nigerian government with the help of the British government. The UK government's interest primarily is on Biafran oil, but Biafrans' primary interest is freedom. Thank you, my brothers and my sisters, for watching this video, and bye-bye for now.